You wake up to the sound of your alarm clock, turn it off, and start getting ready for the day ahead. You reach for your phone on the nightstand to check any missed notifications before leaving the house. It's then that you see that you have received a series of missed calls and voicemails from an unknown number. Maybe it's a wrong one, you think, about to ignore it until you look at the caller ID. Mom. Now, even though you haven't spoken to your mother in years, you decide to call her back. The call goes through and the person on the other side doesn't speak, so you hang up, assuming that it was a prank call. But then the calls keep coming in. You try not to think too much into it and brush it off, but every time you pick up your phone, you can't help but worry about what the person on the other side wants from you. You eventually decide to answer the call. On the other end of the line is a woman. She asks to speak to your mother, and when you tell her that she's not available, the woman becomes angry, shouting at you for wasting her time. As the argument escalates, the woman begins making threats, promising that she will find you no matter where you go. Before you can respond, the call ends, but you know that it's only a matter of time before she tries again. And she does. As the calls continue coming in, you grow increasingly agitated, feeling helpless against the relentless pursuit of the woman who won't stop calling you. What would you do in this situation? Let us know in the comments below. Daniel stared at his phone in disbelief. His mother had been dead for 6 years, yet the caller ID displayed the name Mom, along with 3 missed calls and 4 voicemails. He knew that his mother wouldn't be calling him because he hadn't spoken to her in years. Daniel wasn't close to his mom, so he never thought that she would suddenly, out of the blue, call him after all this time. He looked at the time on the screen. The first call came in at 1 a.m., which was odd because his mother would never call him at such a late hour. He played the first voicemail. "Hello, Daniel. I'm calling you because I need to talk to you about something important. Please call me back as soon as possible." Daniel could hear the concern in his mother's voice. It sounded like she was worried about something, but why would she call him now? He tried to shake off the strangeness of the situation and went about his morning routine. After brushing his teeth and getting dressed, he checked his phone again. There were 2 more voicemails. Daniel played them back to back. In the second message, his mother sounded more frantic. "Daniel, where are you? Why aren't you answering my calls? Please come home immediately. Something terrible has happened." Her tone was sharp, demanding answers. In the third message, her voice was even more desperate. "Daniel, I need you to come home right now. Something horrible has just happened. I don't understand how this could have happened. Please hurry up. I'm waiting for you at home." Was everything okay? Daniel wondered. What had happened to his mother to make her act like this? The fourth and final message was short and to the point. "Daniel, please come home immediately. I love you. Hurry up." Then there were the missed calls. The first at 1 a.m., the second at 3 a.m., and the third at 4 a.m. Daniel felt a sense of unease as he thought about his mother's unusual behavior. He decided to visit her house. As he drove through the quiet neighborhood, he couldn't help but feel a sense of dread. When he arrived, he noticed that the front door was unlocked, which was strange, because his mother always kept it locked. He walked inside and called out for his mother, but there was no response. He began to feel a sense of urgency as he searched for her, calling her name, hoping for a reply. As he explored the empty house, he couldn't shake off the feeling that something was wrong. He went to the kitchen and found a glass of water and a plate with some food on it. They looked like they had been there for a while. which was odd because his mother would never eat dinner and then leave without cleaning up. He could see that the last message his mother had sent him was 3 hours old. Where could she be? He decided to call the police and report her missing. As the minutes turned into hours, his anxiety grew. He paced the floor, unable to sit still. He couldn't understand why his mother would act so strangely, or why she had sent him those cryptic messages. He kept replaying the voicemails in his head, trying to find some hidden meaning in her words. The police arrived and began asking him questions about his mother's behavior and any recent arguments they might have had. Daniel answered truthfully, but he couldn't help but feel that they didn't believe him. He could see the skepticism in their eyes, and it made him angry. He wanted them to take him seriously, but he knew that they thought he was just an irresponsible son who was lying about not hearing from his mother. After the police left, Daniel decided to take matters into his own hands. He went back to his mother's house and began searching every room, every closet, everywhere. He needed to find her, to make sure that she was okay. But all he found was a trail of cryptic clues that only served to deepen the mystery. He remembered that his mother was a private person who never shared her personal thoughts or feelings with anyone. She kept to herself and didn't have many friends. But Daniel knew that she had one person she confided in, her best friend, Martha. He decided to pay her a visit. When Daniel knocked on Martha's door, she opened it and looked surprised to see him. She invited him in and offered him a seat. Daniel explained that he was looking for his mother and asked if she had seen or heard from her recently. Martha told him that she had spoken to his mother a few days ago and that she had sounded fine, but she had noticed that she seemed a bit down. She suggested that Daniel should check with the local hospital to see if his mother had been admitted. Daniel thanked her for her help and left. He drove to the nearest hospital and asked around, but no one had seen his mother. He returned home feeling dejected, but determined to keep searching. He didn't know where else to look, but he was determined not to give up. As the days turned into weeks, Daniel became increasingly desperate. He continued to search for his mother, but with no success. He began to lose hope that he would ever find her, but he refused to give up. He knew that somewhere out there, his mother was waiting for him to find her, and he was determined to make that happen. One evening, as Daniel was going through his mother's belongings, he came across a diary. He opened it and began reading. To his surprise, he found entries that detailed her entire life, including the day she died. He read on, hoping to find some answers. But instead, he found something that made him sick to his stomach. In the final entry, his mother wrote about how she had been planning to run away from home and start a new life somewhere else. She had saved up a lot of money and had already made arrangements to move, but she was struggling with the decision and felt guilty about leaving Daniel behind. She ended the entry by saying that she would make a decision soon, but the next entry was dated 6 months later and it read, "I finally did it. I left Daniel behind and started a new life. It was the best decision I ever made." Daniel felt a chill down his spine as he read these words. He realized that his mother had abandoned him when he was just a baby. He continued reading, and the diary revealed a dark secret. His mother had taken her own life. She had been struggling with depression for a long time and had been seeing a therapist. But ultimately, she decided to end her own life. Daniel was shocked. He had never known this side of his mother. He had always seen her as a strong, independent woman who could handle anything. But the diary showed a different side of her, a vulnerable, broken person who was struggling to cope with the pain inside her. He finished the last entry and closed the diary. He felt a sense of relief, knowing that his mother was no longer suffering. But he also felt a deep sadness knowing that he had lost her forever. He knew that he would never forget her, but he also knew that he could never forgive her for what she had done. Hit like and follow the channel if you want more stories that will haunt your phone.